Imagine you're transported to a new world, a world where the winds whisper through the trees, the sun sets over breathtaking landscapes, and every move you make is shaped by honor, combat, and choice. And that world is Where Winds Meet, a wuxia martial arts RPG set in a breathtaking, immersive world inspired by ancient China. My name's Bran, and I'm going to be giving you a rundown of Where Winds Meet, going through my experience with the game, and giving you a general review on whether it's worth your time. First, let's talk about the world. Where Winds Meet takes place in a stunning open world with dense forests, dynamic weather conditions, and absolutely beautiful scenery. The game's art direction is jaw-dropping. Every environment feels alive, and whether you're riding through mist-covered mountains or exploring ancient temples or simply sitting by the river, Where Winds Meet has a peaceful yet awe-inspiring atmosphere. But beyond just the beauty, the world's full of life and history. Where Winds Meet takes inspiration from ancient Chinese culture, and it shows in the architecture, the clothing, and even in the music. The soundtrack of this game complements the experience beautifully, making every moment feel like it belongs in a timeless tale. The character customization kind of blew me away. The things that really blew me away was the amount of choice for things like hair and eye color. The different eyes and face tattoos you can do in this game kind of set it apart from a lot of other character creators. You can practically make anything from monstrosity to beauty. Now let's talk about the combat. As a martial artist, you'll engage in some of the most satisfying, fluid combat I've experienced in an RPG. The game offers a robust combat system where you can perform fluid combos, counterattacks, and unleash devastating special moves, all based on the martial arts of ancient China. There's quite a lot of different weapons in this game, and each weapon does feel unique. You can go from nimble swords to high damage dual blades, heavy spears for defensive options, and even fans and umbrellas for healing. Now, there are multiple layers of depth to the combat in this game. You can equip two different weapons and switch between them to adapt to different enemy types, and trust me, that will be needed at some points. The combat system in this game is all about rhythm, precision, and mastering your martial skill. There are multiple different difficulties for Where Winds Meet. The easy difficulty is, well, easy for most people. It's a bit more hand-holdy, and if you have to parry an attack, there is an option you can enable where time will slow down and you'll get a button prompt to make it even easier. And obviously there's harder difficulties. If you're brand new to the game and you want a bit of a challenge, I really would recommend starting on Legend difficulty. The reason is you can always decrease the difficulty over time. However, Legend is only available from starting a new character. You can't increase the difficulty mid-game, at least not yet. If you're a fan of Souls-like games, Legend is probably where you're going to be most comfortable anyway. But there is also a hardcore permadeath mode, so I'd probably recommend getting used to the game a little bit. Hardcore permadeath always seems fun, but it might be very frustrating at times. Now, enemies can vary from basic bandits to powerful bosses that require strategic thinking. The combat can feel incredibly satisfying when you take your time to block, counter, and do everything correctly, but the real joy is how it all flows together. This isn't just about hacking through enemies, it's about becoming the martial artist. Where Winds Meet has done an incredible job at making you feel immersed into this world, not just through the incredible scenery, but also making you feel like you are the character. You become the martial artist with graceful movements that are both beautiful and deadly. As you progress in the game, you're going to get more ways to take down enemies, you're going to unlock different martial arts skills, different weapon skills, more gear, and the progression so far feels really good. There are time-gated elements, so if you're not a fan of that, it's gonna suck a little bit to be waiting before you can level up past a certain breakthrough point and even continue the main story. It's one of my biggest pet peeves with the game. If I'm enjoying a game a lot, the last thing I want to be told is that I have to wait to progress. I really enjoy playing at my own pace, and I understand not everybody has multiple hours per day to be able to match that pace, but it's more of a selfish reasoning for me, admittedly. Now, a great RPG isn't just about its combat, it's also about the story. Where Winds Meet offers a narrative that's rich in character development, moral choices, and personal growth. Your journey's shaped by the choices you make, the people you meet, and the path you choose to walk. Now, the writing in Where Winds Meet, in my opinion, is actually incredibly good, and the way the game presents the story feels really organic. Although your choices can sometimes feel like you're a passive participant in the story, for me, I feel like a lot of the decisions that I make in the game actually matter, whether it's through the main story or through side content like Sects. The voice acting in the game in Chinese is incredibly good, and honestly the English dub, respectfully here because I'm sure the voice actors put in a hell of a lot of work, I really enjoy the English dub, but I've seen a lot of people saying that the English dub feels very over the top and overacted, and like you can just tell it's a dub, and I think that is very accurate. But I went into this game seeing all the goofy stuff that you could do, like throwing people off of mountains and riding geese, thinking that it was going to be a bit of a goofy game. The story itself has such serious tones to it that the voice acting being a little goofier kind of does take you out of that immersive feeling a slight bit. But for me, with the expectations that I set for myself, it really didn't affect my enjoyment of the game that much, if at all. Now, beyond the main story, there is a lot to do in the world of Where Winds Meet. I mentioned sects before, so let me go into that a little bit. Through single player or multiplayer, you can choose to join a sect. So sects are the factions of the world of Where Winds Meet. And unlike the usual kind of factions you find in other MMORPG type games, joining a sect can have a drastic impact on how you actually experience this game. There's a huge role-playing element involved with each sect, and they have some really cool rewards for players who take the time to reach the very top of a chain of command. I recommend taking a look at each and every sect and seeing what kind of rules you're willing to follow. For example, some of them, like the Well of Heaven, really implore you to be generous and righteous, where you shouldn't earn more than a certain amount per week. Others, like the Midnight Blades, reward you for killing. And there's some like the Velvet Shade that have the rule of drunk on flowers. How can one only steal a single heart when drunk on 1,000 flowers? Pretty sure this one's basically saying, you know, go fall in love multiple times. So that's the very basics of sects. Now, there is also guilds in this game. Where Winds Meet is a wuxia game. It is not entirely an MMO. The game does definitely have MMO aspects to it. You can co-op with other players. You can do big PvP guild v guild battles and things like that. But I wouldn't consider this game a MMO. It feels more like a single player RPG just with MMO elements. And I think that works in its favor. The open world exploration is rich, to say the least. There's side quests that feel more like main stories of their own, and whether you're helping a village deal with bandits or, like I said before, discovering hidden caves or training with a martial arts master, the activities never feel like filler. They add layers to the world and make it feel lived in, and they also add layers to your character and really help with character development. PvP is also another incredible part of Where Winds Meet. If you've ever played Naraka Blade Point, you'll know exactly what I'm about to say. There are a couple of different options for PvP in this game, but the one that I've had the most fun in and the most time in is not the 1v1 arena, but basically the battle royale. You spawn in a location of your choice with a ton of other players. You get to pick up some random loot on the ground and go and kill random enemies on the map to get more. You also get some currency, and there's some challenges that you can pick up like bounties. And then all you do is you make your way to the safe spot on the map away from the enclosing storm. Think Fortnite, think Apex Legends, think any other battle royale. This is basically that, but the combat feels really smooth, and it's a big skill check, because even if you have worse items, you can still very easily win a fight if you just pay attention, predict the enemy's movements correctly, and hope lag and ping is actually on your side. PvP is one of the most fun things that I've done in this game, which is why I chose the PvP sect, and I urge you to give it a shot. If you want to join a guild that's really heavily focused on that, join the Cult of Bran. I'll leave the code down in the description of the video. Now, I do want to focus on the monetization aspect of Where Winds Meet just a little bit here. So the game obviously offers a ton of customizable options, allowing you to upgrade your gear, learn new abilities, develop your character in any way that kind of fits your playstyle. And this game is not pay to win in the slightest. None of the monetization options in Where Winds Meet will affect your actual gameplay. The monetization and gacha systems in this game is cosmetic only. The skins in Where Winds Meet look absolutely phenomenal, and the paid versions are no exception. The paid versions are absolutely insane, but some of the skins are quite pricey, ranging upwards of $50. Now again, cosmetic only, no actual benefit to gameplay other than looking awesome. You can also get a lot of the skins for free just by playing the game, and if you do want to pay, there are cheaper options. There's a couple of $1 skins and things like $15 skins that also look really good. There's one item in this game which is like a ship mount, which apparently is upwards of like $40,000. It's absolute whale bait, and I implore nobody that watches this video to actually spend $40,000 on a free-to-play video game, especially on one item that is purely cosmetic. Please don't do it. But overall, I don't don't really see the monetization as a huge problem, especially considering there are a lot of free options as well. Now, I do have a few problems with this game. I'm not glazing it for the sake of glazing, I'm genuinely enjoying it a ton. My biggest issue with Where Winds Meet is actually the UI. There are a lot of menus in this game, and every time you click into one, you're faced with about 10 more. It can get very confusing and incredibly overwhelming. There's a lot of things that are easily missed and hard to navigate. I don't really know what the best fix for this kind of thing is, other than condensing the systems down in the menus a lot more than they already are. So what's the overall verdict on Where Winds Meet? This is a game that delivers on its promises. It's a beautiful world, combat mechanics are deep and engaging, it's got a very compelling story, and it's got hours of content to explore. It's really hard not to recommend this game. If you're a fan of wuxia, you're a fan of open world games, and especially a fan of free games, it's definitely worth checking out. Where Winds Meet might just be the next best thing you've been waiting for. And like I say, it's free. Just try it. The only thing it's going to cost is your time.